I've got no hope at this point. I'm going to have to keep looking to see in case my bus comes, but honestly, I've got no hope whatsoever. You know, and to be honest, I want to just go down. I'm sick of the Premier League. I'm sick of the fact this is now 5 years in a row now that we've done nothing in it. And, you know, after 10 years, I've said it all before, after 10 years in the top flight, we shouldn't be anywhere near this position. And the crowd was like 41,000 a day. I know that's not a sellout. You can make it and make out all you want. But the fact is, excluding the 2,000 or 3,000 City fans, they were good today, to be fair. Apart from that, though, that's like me. That's the upper 30,000s that pay their money to go and watch that. Don't get me wrong. I didn't expect us to beat City. I didn't expect anything. I thought it would be much more one-sided game than that. But it's just the fact that even after the first goal, which is the third game in a row now, we've let a goal in before half-time. What is it that it's up there with these stupid players that prevents them from properly switching on throughout the whole 90 minutes? How can we not defend properly and not keep a goal? Sorry, not keep the game level or stay in a game until half-time? Why do we always concede at crucial moments in games? What's the point then? That first 40 minutes we were all right. Would I say we're really desperately threatening City? I wouldn't say we were desperately looking like scoring, apart from Defoe hitting the post. I know Billy Jones had 2 headers, but both went wide. But even so, we're half threatening City. And then as soon as we conceded the first goal, that was effectively game over, really. We had maybe one half chance at 2-0 when Larson, I think, fired straight at Willie Caballero. But other than that, it was just a desperately routine win for City. And they didn't. And what depressed me, they didn't even need to get out of second gear, really, did they? It's as routine a win as they'll have all season. And we've got Burnley coming up next. Next week, I bet you Hull beat Swansea. Mind you, not that the gap would extend or anything, because it's 6 points anyway. Actually, there's a point. You probably want Hull to beat Swansea, because you don't want Swansea getting further clear, do you? To me, any last shred of hope, and I've got no hope, we are going down. But as far as I'm concerned, the last shred of hope we've got to save our season is if we beat Burnley, and then we properly use that to kickstart a run going. But I can't see it. Where in that squad can you see any reason whatsoever that we will get to get a run going? I can't see anything from that game that gives me any hope. And to be honest, Burnley will come here and beat us. If they don't beat us, I'll be surprised. If we get anything from that game, if we beat Burnley, that's as big as a shock as anything, I suppose. And it shouldn't be, because those are teams we should be putting away. Truth be told, I don't think Burnley's better than Sunderland. I really don't. I think certainly in terms of attitude, they are miles ahead of us. They are miles ahead of us in terms of attitude. But in quality and ability, no, I don't think they are. I think we've got better quality players than Burnley. But the difference is, and to me, therefore, we're a team we should be beaten. But I like Burnley a lot. I admire what they do. I like their manager. I like everything they stand for. They were written off by loads of people at the start of the season, and fair play to them. They've done very well to get the points tally they have, and I hope they kick on next season, because unlike Sunderland, they deserve it. They've put us to utter shame, and the fact they are 12 points ahead of us, that is embarrassing. I know our team's not very good, but even so, there are some players who are still better than what they're bothering to show at the moment. But even then, they've put us to shame. Good on you, Burnley. Well done. You've shown what we should have done. You don't have to have the best quality team to go and be successful in the Premier League, but get your results at home. We've now got a run of 3 winnable fixtures, but to be honest, we've got Burnley at home, Watford away, Leicester away, and we should be looking at least 7 points out of that run-in. At least 7 points, possibly 9. But are we going to get that? No. At best, we'll probably get 2 draws, and I'll tell you what, Leicester will beat us. No question, Leicester will beat us. Like I said before, I mean, if we have any last... To me, we simply have to beat Burnley to have any last hope of staying in the Premier League. But even then, do I want... I was thinking about this earlier today. When I keep saying we need to stay in the Premier League, I think purely from a financial standpoint, Sunderland need to stay in the Premier League for their financial situation to help wipe the debt clean. But I can't think of any reason as a fan, apart from one, to want to stay in the Premier League next season. That reason is simply so that Jermaine Defoe doesn't leave. Because he's not going to stay if we go down. Defoe is not going to stay if we get relegated. He's too good for the Championship, and his wages are too big for the Championship. We'd have to cut the cloth really. And Defoe's not going to take that, is he? You know, So as a fan, apart from Defoe, I can't think of any reason why I'd want to stay in the Premier League, because I know next season's going to be exactly the same as this season, if not worse. Not that it feels like it can get any worse at the minute. And that's upsetting. This was supposed to be the year where everything changed, where we weren't going to see us scrap to stay up anymore, that we were going to see us punch at our weight, which should be mid-table if not top 10. And I don't mean Sunderland are that good a side, but the fan base, the club, length of time in the Premier League, money we've spent, calibre of managers we've had, that's where we should be in my opinion. And no, I'm not deluded for saying that. I think that's a pretty fair expectation. But this is, well, you're technically right though. Technically in a way though, this season is different. Because we're going down. To be honest, I just want to be in the Championship at the minute. And actually, you know, the Championship's not a great league in terms of quality. But I'll tell you right now, is it really any worse than this? Doesn't feel worse than this, does it? I'll leave you there, everybody. That's the most flat I've been after a Sunderland game. Nothing. Let's just go down to the Championship, because quite frankly, I don't want to stay up if we're just going to do this next season. I hate this. I know that financially it's better for Sunderland to be in the Premier League, but as purely as a fan, I hate it. I don't enjoy it. Just get to the Championship already.